Hi besties, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello, hi, I'm Stephanie, and welcome to another reading vlog. I just uploaded a reading vlog where I attempted to swap my screen time with my reading time for a week. You want to go watch that? It is essentially just me failing at the challenge, but it's a fun time all the same. But I wanted to do a similar kind of style video. I'm going to do a reading vlog like usual, but instead I'm jazzing it up a little bit. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how much I actually read in a realistic week of my life as a college student who goes to college full time and who also works at the weekend. I try my best to fit in reading anywhere I can. I also commute to college, so I have a lot of time on a bus journey to read as well. But yeah, I just wanted to do a little intro for this video today. Today is Monday, the 19th of February, and I'm actually not in college today. I'm supposed to be, but my lecture got cancelled and I only have one lecture on a Monday. So that was nice. I got to stay at home. So if you watched my last video, you'll know that I mentioned this book. I was reading this book last week and I just finished it up this morning, and I was reading it on my Kindle. So that is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni. I rated this book 3.5 stars. If you want to see my full Goodreads review, my Goodreads is linked down below. All my social medias are always linked underneath my videos. I did mention in my previous vlog as well about this book that I was enjoying it. It felt kind of like a 3-star. It wasn't anything amazing. I liked the concept. I liked the setting. I liked the characters. And I liked the kind of background plot, and I thought that I had guessed the big plot twist, which I did guess one of them, but there was a huge plot twist on the very last page, and I was like, oh. That also brought it up half a star for me. So it went from a 3-star to 3.5. I finished that this morning, so I've already finished one book this week, which is great. Enjoyed it. Planning on reading the rest of the series. It wasn't anything amazing, but it was enjoyable, and the plot twist really had me reeling, to be honest. I have not read a book in a while where a plot twist has caught me as off guard as that one did. So that was very exciting and nice to read. But I have no real solid reading plans at the minute. The only thing I'm consistently reading, which is something I'm always reading, which is a All for the Game fanfic, as per usual. So the one I'm reading is on my Kindle as well, and it's one I've been reading for ages now, and I've mentioned it before on my channel. It's Blame It On My Youth by Your Eyes They Glow. I think 65% of the way through that, but I don't think you understand how big this fanfic is and how long this fanfic is. If you've read it, you will know. But I've been reading this fic for months and months, maybe over 6 months, probably. But I love it. I love the fact that it's taking me long, and I love that I can just tip away at it whenever I want. So this fanfic is set after the events of the original trilogy, a decade after, I think it is. So the two main characters, Neil and Andrew, are in their late 20s, early 30s, and they basically adopt two little girls, two 14-year-old girls, and we just kind of see them on their own personal healing journey, both together and separately. And then there's just all the other characters as well in the series. It's just perfect. It's one of my favorite fanfics ever, and it's such a comfort read for me, even though I haven't finished it yet. So I've just kind of been tipping away at reading that, but also sometimes I take a break because in this fic in particular, Neil, one of the main characters, is extremely paranoid. Practically all of it is in his POV, so it can get a bit intense sometimes. So I do like to take a break every so often, but loving it at the minute. Always loving it, to be honest, and just having a great time. I don't really give much updates on my fanfics because that's kind of what I use my TikTok for. But also, if you want me to do videos about fanfics, let me know. I'll do that. I love fanfics. They are my life. I won't give an explanation of The Prison Healer because I mentioned it in my last vlog, and I haven't technically read that book in this vlog. I just finished it this morning before starting this vlog. So as far as reading plans for the week goes, I have downloaded a few books on my Kindle. The third book in the An Ember in the Ashes series by Saba Tahir, A Reaper at the Gates, I think is the name of that book. And then I also have another book called The Jasad Heir by I'm not sure who. I also was on TikTok earlier, and I keep seeing these two pieces of fan art in particular from a book that I tried to read before and I just never finished. And I did want to finish it, but I read it during my Leaving Cert exams. If you're not from Ireland, you wouldn't know, but in Ireland, when you finish secondary school, which is kind of like high school, you do a big set of exams to get into college. And that's when I was reading that book. So that was a very intense year for me. And it's a very intense, big book. So I don't know why I decided to read it then, but I didn't finish it because I got just too caught up in studying and everything. But I kind of have the urge to read it again because I keep seeing fanfics of these two main characters. So the book actually it's on my shelves back there somewhere. The Priory of the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. Yes. Like I said, I've read the vast majority of it. I think I only had about this is an estimate here, but maybe like 300 pages left. So I was definitely over the halfway point and I was loving it, but it's a very kind of big brain book. It's high fantasy and it's a sapphic book as well, which I was loving that element. And it also has dragons in it. Do you know, I'm just convincing myself that I want to read it now. But also at the same time, it's like if I read that book, it's a very chunky girl. And bringing it around and bringing it with me to college, I don't know. But anyway, that's enough of an intro for this video. I honestly have never really tracked how much I read in a week when I'm in college or in school or anything like that. I mostly get time to read, like I said, on the bus and then before I go to bed. I always read before I go to bed. When I come home from work or college, I'm always reading to relax and kind of wind down. So we'll see. I don't know. I think what I'll do is I'll track it in how many pages I've read. I'll talk to you all later this evening, I think, and let you know what I decide to pick up and how much I have read before I go to sleep. Hello, besties. Today is Wednesday. It's Wednesday evening. And first off, apologies if you can hear my family in the background. They're very loud. But I actually didn't update yesterday. I totally forgot. So I was in college yesterday for the majority of the day, and then same with today. Or on Monday, I spoke to you, and I also started a new book, A Reaper at the Gates by Saba Tahir, which is the third book in the An Ember in the Ashes series. It's only occurring to me now that I decided to pick up a book on my Kindle for this week's read. So there is no way for me to like accurately figure out how many pages I've read a day, which is kind of annoying, but I'm just going to talk to you about it in percentages. And I am planning on reading more this evening, but right now I'm at 42% of the way through. So I did read a good chunk today. So yeah, I'm at almost halfway through the novel. I didn't really explain much about this because like I said, it's the third book in a 4 book series. So it's very hard to talk about it without giving spoilers. And also, I genuinely had to look up a spoilery review of the second book in order to start this. But I do know I rated the first one 4 stars and the second one 5 stars, or could be the other way around. Either way, they are both on my Goodreads if you want to have a look at my reviews, because I was also reading my review for the second book, which is A Torch Against the Night, and I was absolutely raving about that. I loved it so much. Can I tell you now what was happening in it? Not really. Well, like now I can because I know a bit, but the way I just consume this media and it just like disappears out of my head is kind of crazy. But I do remember really enjoying it, and I do like Sabaa Tahir's writing. It's very easy to read, and I love her characters as well, and I love how she writes. In this one, she has four different POVs, and she writes them all perfectly. And I'm interested in every single one of them, so it's great. At the minute for this one, it's kind of feeling like a 3 stars. I don't know. I'm not loving it as much as I loved the other ones. I am consuming it as quick as I did the other ones, and it is something I keep gravitating towards and wanting to read. But at the same time, there's so much going on and it's so exciting. I don't know if it's just me, but at the minute it's kind of at 3 stars. I'm not really sure how I'm feeling about it. I think it could have like not second book syndrome, but like in third book form. It's just not my favorite. I am planning on finishing this series because I do enjoy it. And I think if I reread the other books, I would enjoy them immensely, but I just can't really remember my enjoyment of them other than my Goodreads reviews. I was also reading Blame It On My Youth. I think I moved up 1%. This will just give you an indication of how long that fanfic is, like the actual sheer length of it. The fact that I've been reading that, well, not as much time as I've been reading this, but I have read it for a good while over this past week, and I've only moved up 1%, and I've moved up almost 40% in this one. But I'm loving that fic as well. You all know how I feel about it. I love it so much. It's my fave thing ever. I also want to just start. Another Drarry fanfic. The vibes I'm getting right now. But I have a tendency to just continue reading fanfics for ages. So like I'll go into phases of reading solely fanfics. And then that's not good for my reading goal because it doesn't count. Very annoying. But yeah, that's all I have for you today. Hello, besties. Today it is Friday, and I wanted to give a little bit of a reading update because yesterday I actually did not read a singular page or percent. Like I was telling you earlier in this vlog, I was supposed to be in college yesterday, but my bus actually broke down and didn't turn up. So I spent the day with my mom. Again, this is like a realistic reading week in my life. I don't always get time to read. And like today, I ended up falling asleep on the bus on the way home. So I obviously did not read. I got home a bit earlier today because this morning I actually had a seminar. It was actually really, really good. I had such a good time. It was very good. It was all about race and how to talk about race. And that was all I had today. And I'm home now, and it's about 3:30, if not later, and I'm about to start on some college work because I haven't gotten any done since like Wednesday. I will be reading tonight, but my mood reader self has kicked in. I am still 42% of the way through A Reaper at the Gates by Sabaa Tahir. Not gonna lie to you, I'm just not loving it. Like I said it earlier in this vlog as well, it's easy to read. I love the characters. I love Sabaa Tahir's writing and the different POVs and everything that's going on. But this one is just not feeling like amazing to me. It's not capturing my attention that much. I'm not really sure where the plot's supposed to be going right now, and I'm not excited about it. I really don't want to DNF it because I did really enjoy the other books in the series, but I think right now is just not the time for me to be reading it, and I might try it another time. But I should have actually got this book because I think I am going to start it. I'm gonna actually get up and grab it. I love this book. Oh, can you still see me? You can still see me. I love this book, and I have wanted to reread it. I love Tumblr. I recently downloaded Tumblr. I say recently, I'm not sure how long ago it was. A couple of months anyway. I don't know why I decided to download Tumblr. Oh my god, no. Do you know what it was? I remember now. It was when I was reading an All for the Game fanfic, which is called Red Rabbits. And oh my god, if you love the All for the Game series, you have to read this fanfic. Like, oh my god, it's genuinely like a fully fledged, flushed out world. And it's an AU, so an alternative universe, where Andrew and Neil met when they were younger, and Neil is still on the run. Same story as the original books, but Andrew also has the same backstory, but he is a podcaster. And the Foxes aren't XE players, they're like a network, like a radio station. Guys, I don't know how to tell you how good this is. Like, it's so good. It's really long as well, which is really nice. I just love fics where Andrew and Neil have met before and they're meeting again when they're in college. Oh, I love them. Anyway, I'm kind of unhinged about that fic, but it's so good because, getting to my point, it was like a collaborative work of like 3 or 4 different artists, between like writers and artists, as in drawing. And they have a whole Tumblr page, and also they did like an audio kind of, they have little audio clips for the fanfics. There's like fan art and everything. It's just superb. I love it so much. Anyways, how did I get onto this? Oh yeah, that's on Tumblr. So I saw on Twitter and like TikTok and like mostly AO3 that, in the chapter notes and everything, like, click on here to look at the artwork for this chapter. And it brought me to Tumblr, and I was like, oh my God, I need to download this app. Anyway, which leads me to my point. Tumblr is one of my favorite apps ever. Like, it's fun social media that does not make me feel bad. Does that make sense? It's just all about my favorite fictional characters being silly. Well, my feed is obviously catered to me. Tumblr, the way I use it, is silly little headcanons about my favorite characters, along with deep dives into certain elements of certain books, and like foreshadowing and what things mean, and people's different perspectives and opinions of certain things, which is so interesting. And just like so much incredible fan art. Love. Anyways, not me ranting about Tumblr for ages, but the reason why I'm talking about Tumblr is because I ended up liking a post about a specific book series that I love, that I have read, and I'm still currently reading, because there's another book that has yet to come out. We do not have a release date for it, but I've read the first 3 books, and I have been meaning to reread this series. Like, my feed, because of everything I keep liking, I keep getting more of this series on my Tumblr feed, so it's just making me want to reread it, because there's so much. I feel like there's so much in these books. If you've read them, you'll know. I'm not trying to be like really like suspense here, but I just haven't said the title yet. These books are just incredible. Probably the most incredible books I've ever read in my life. Like, just mind bending books. And I think I need to read them multiple times. Like, I mean, multiple times, in order to fully grasp them. But also, then every time you'll read them, you're just going to find something new, I think. It is the Locked Tomb series. Plan is to start a reread of Gideon the Ninth. Now, that's not really going to be in much of this vlog, but I think I'm just going to start another weekly vlog on Monday. But I think I'm going to finish this vlog today, because it's what I read in a week as a college student, as a university student. So I obviously don't do university on the weekends, but I do work. So yeah, I'm just gonna finish the vlog later on this evening. But I will be including this in my next reading vlog. This book is all about necromancers in space, and there's also an element of just silly little lesbians in it as well. And the characters are just so funny and so complex. But it's not just that. It's like, I've never ever been so fascinated by a fictional world before. One of the best things about this series is how intricate and well thought out the world is. I love them. Anyway, that was me talking about Tumblr and Gideon the Ninth for like so long. Girl, I'm gonna go because I have work to do. And then I'm gonna treat myself and I'm gonna start Gideon the Ninth, I think. Anyway, that's all from me for right now. I'll probably talk to you all later on this evening.